Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda मम ज्ञानतिमिन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुर्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा गदामह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगं रघुनाथं सज साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatkati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusiti Devi Pranamami Devi Vanchakampatarindhascha Pita Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Padaya Krishna Krishna Rute Prabhupada Priya Shri Girirajaya Swami Suvakta Radharasmi Hariyam Bhakti Vishatmadaya Vishnu Padaya Krishna Rute Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityayana Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachavani Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paschatya Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langayati gurum uttitatamaham vande Shri Guru Taradam. Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 10. We are on text 84. Shri Rupa Sanatana Etina Shakha Vrikshera Paschine Sarvutama. Stem side were the 43rd, 44th, and 45th branches. What is this western side very lost? So, what are those branches? Shri Sanatana, Shri Rupa, and Anupama. They were the best of all. All right. So, anybody remembers what are those branches of the Chaitanya tree that we are discussing? Anybody knows what we are talking about?
Mataji, I can try. Basically, Lord Chaitanya is the tree as well as the gardener, and gardener, which he means to distribute love of Godhead, and therefore the tree has branched out, and each branch is actually a pure Vaishnava leader who is creating many more leaders. And I remember you telling us that as long as we are connected to the Chaitanya tree, we will be able to distribute love of Godhead to other souls. So these branches are the acharyas who are distributing Lord Chaitanya's message worldwide.
Yes. So the best of all is Shri Sanatana, Shri Rupa, and Anupama. Actually, I was waiting for this, and now it has come. They are the 43rd, 44th, and 45th. Shri Anupama was the father of Srila Jeev Goswami and younger brother of Shri Sanatana Goswami and Shri Rupa Goswami. His former name was Vallabha, but after Lord Chaitanya met him, he gave him the name Anupama. Because of working in the Muslim government, these three brothers were given the title Malik. Our personal family is connected with the Maliks of Mahatma Gandhi rule in Calcutta, and we often used to visit their Radha Govinda temple. They belong to the same family as we do. Our family Gotra Our original genealogical line is the Gautama Putra, or line of disciples of Gautama Muni, and our surname is Dev. But due to their accepting the post of Zamindar in the Muslim government, they received the title Malik. Similarly, Rupa, Sanatan, and Vallabha were also given the title Malik. Malik means Lord. Just as the English government gives rich and respectable persons the title Lord, so the Muslim gave the title Malik to rich, respectable families that have intimate connections with the government. Thus, the title Malik is not found only among the Muslims, but also among the Hindu aristocracy. This title is not restricted to a particular family, but is given to different families and castes. The qualification for receiving it are wealth and respectability. Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami belong to the Bharadwaj Gotra. See, now information is being given about who they are and how they became, Malik in that Muslim government. It's terrible, actually. So, Prabhupada's Gotra is what?
Gautam Gotra,
And
surname Dev.
And Sanatan Goswami belong to?
Malik.
Bharadwaj.
Yeah, Bharadwaj. Which indicates that they belong either to the family or disciplic succession of Bharadwaj Muni. As members of the Krishna consciousness movement, we belong to the family or disciplic successions of Saraswati Goswami, and thus we are known as Saraswats. Obeisances are therefore offered to the spiritual master as Saraswat Devi, or a member of the Saraswat family. Namaste Saraswati Devi, whose mission is to broadcast the cult of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gauravani Pracharine, and to fight with impersonalists and voidism, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarini. This was also the occupational duty of Sanatan Goswami, Rup Goswami, and Anupam Goswami. So what is our Gotra?
Saraswat.
Saraswati. After who?
Saraswati Goswami.
Prabhupada.
Who is that?
Saraswati Goswami.
That's
The
but
succession.
Saraswati is
Bhaktisiddhanta. Right?
Bhaktivedanta Swami.
Saraswati is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati.
Saraswati.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's why Prabhupada is saying that he belongs to Saraswati.
Saraswata.
Right? Now you know what is Prabhupada's pranam mantra and why this is indicated. Anupama, because you're preaching, you're teaching people, Prabhupada's mantra. So can you tell me what is this Saraswati?
So Namaste Saraswati Devi is Saraswati is the Gotra to which we belong, because this Gotra belongs to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. So that's why we pay obeisances to that. And then
Now we have to pronounce properly. What is the proper pronunciation?
Saraswati.
Saraswat.
Devi.
Saraswati.
All right. So when we do the pranam mantra, we must pronounce what?
Saraswat Devi.
Devi. All right.
That's
So
Saraswat. Yeah, okay.
So our gotras, just see how smartly Prabhupada is giving everybody a gotra. Right? So many of us.
I read somewhere that he told his American disciples, if they ask you for your Gota, say you are Achyuta Gota. He didn't say Saraswati.
Yeah, so now
Yeah,
here
right.
Prabhupada is saying Saraswati, right?
Okay.
Achyuta Gotra meaning the family of Vishnu.
Krishna.
We belong to the family of Vishnu. So when you take Diksha, you are entering the family of
Diksha.
Vishnu. And this Achyuta Gotra, we studied about that in Bhagavatam, somewhere in Bhagavatam, most probably in chapter 10 to 4, where this Achyuta Gotra Prabhupada explained how we belong to Achyuta Gotra. But here specifically, Prabhupada is speaking about Gautama Gotra, right? Gautama Rishi or Gautama Gotra. And then he spoke about this Bharadwaj Gotra, right? And then now he is introducing our Gotra. As members of the Krishna consciousness movement, we belong to the family or disciplic succession of Saraswati Goswami. That is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami. And thus we are known as Saraswatas. All right? Saraswat. All right. And then Prabhupada is saying obeisances are therefore offered to the spiritual master as Saraswat Devi or a member of the Saraswat family. Namaste Saraswati Devi. His mission is to broadcast the cult of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So why are we known as Saraswatas? Why?
Followers of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada.
And what do we follow?
The cult of Sri
Nirvish-
Yeah, Amrita Radhe, what do we follow?
basically Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings, and we do not follow the Nirvisheshwad, meaning that God is impersonal.
No. What do we follow is that we broadcast the mission of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why we are known as Saraswat. The Saraswat Gotra are those who broadcast the mission of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what is the mission of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? It is to fight impersonalism and
Voidist.
all right. Very scientifically, Prabhupada is breaking up entire his own pranam mantra. So we are Saraswatas. Why we are known as Saraswatas? I'm repeating. Because we are, what do you call it? Broadcasters, right?
God
Of the mission of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
प्रचार करते हैं गौर
Alright.
का वाणी. Okay.
All right.
Yes.
So meaning that whoever is here, each and every one of us, if we are to be known as Saraswat, we can't just take the title Saraswat, right? What must we do? Then we are entitled to this, to take up this Gotra, Saraswat, Gotra.
Initiation.
No, we have to do the prachar of
Yes.
Gaura's Vani, which is
Yeah. Yes. Only if we are broadcasting the mission of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then we can be known as Saraswats. Is it clear? All right. I mean,
Okay.
just see it's amazing how Prabhupada has, made this meaning that it's not just you inherit a title. You don't just inherit a title. You don't just say, I belong to this Gotra. This is a missionary Gotra. Saraswats are missionaries. And what are they? The mission, it is to defeat impersonalism and voidism, Buddhism and Mayavad. We are to work, fighting the impersonalist and voidist. This was also the occupational duty of Sanatan Goswami, Rup Goswami, and Anupama Goswami. Okay, now let's read more. This is super interesting. This is old lineage. The how to pronounce this?
Genealogical.
Table of Sanatan Goswami
Yeah, not so.
and Vallabha Goswami can be traced back to the 12th century of Shakabda, when a gentleman of the name, so 12th century, this means like 800 years ago, right? Of the name Saraswat, yeah, appeared in a very rich and opulent Brahmin family in the province of Karnataka. He had two sons named Anirudhera, Rupeshwar, and Harihar, who were both bereft of their kingdoms and thus obliged to reside in the highlands. I don't know what's that. The son of Rupeshwar, who was named Padmanabh, moved to a place in Bengal known as Naihati on the bank of the Ganges. There he had 5 sons, of whom the youngest, Mukunda, had a well-behaved son named Kumar Dev, who was the father of Rupa, Sanatan, and Vallabha. It's a long history. Kumar Dev lived in Hattiyabad, an area bordering Bakla Chandra Dweep in East Bengal, now Bangladesh. The present-day village of Prem Bagh, which lies near Ramsharar in the Jessore district of Bangladesh, is said by many to be the site of Kumar Dev's house. Out of his many sons, 3 took to the path of Vaishnavism. Later, Shri Vallabha and his elder brothers Shri Rupa and Sanatan came from Chandradweep to the village in the Malda district of Bengal known as Ramakeli. It is in this village that Srila Jiva Goswami took birth, accepting Vallabha as his father. Because of engaging in the service of the Muslim government, the 3 brothers received the title Malik. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited the village of Ramakeli, he met Vallabha there. Later, Sri Rupa Goswami, after meeting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, resigned from government service. And when he went to Vrindavan to meet Lord Chaitanya, Vallabha accompanied him. The meeting of Rupa Goswami and Vallabha with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Allahabad is described in the Madhya Lila, chapter 19. Actually, yes,
Vallabha and Anupama are the same,
yes, yes.
right?
He was born as Vallabha,
Anupam. No,
but Mahaprabhu changed his name to Anupam.
Anupam. Okay.
Actually, it is to be understood from the statement of Sanatan Goswami that Shri Rup Goswami and Vallabha went to Vrindavan under the instructions of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. First, they went to Mathura, where they met a gentleman named Subudhi Rai, who maintained himself by selling dry fuel wood. He was very pleased to meet Shri Rup Goswami and Anupama, and he showed them the 12 forests of Vrindavan. Thus, they lived in Vrindavan for 1 month, and then again went to search for Sanatan Goswami. Following the course of the Ganges, they reached Allahabad or Prayag Tirtha. But because Sanatan Goswami had come there by a different road, they didn't meet him there. And when Sanatan Goswami came to Mathura, he was informed of the visit of Rupa Goswami and Anupam by Subudhi Rai. When Rupa Goswami and Anupam met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Benares, they heard about Sanatan Goswami's travels from him, and thus they returned to Bengal, adjusted their affairs with the state, and on the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, went to see the Lord at Jagannath Puri. Such a story, right? We have to write it. We have to make like those drawings, the chart and drawing. My mind is not able to visualize. I'm not able to visualize all this. So it's a lot of history and this thing happening and all that. So I actually need to draw In the year 1436 Shakabda, AD 1514, the youngest brother Anupama died and went back home, back to Godhead. He went to the abode in the spiritual sky where Sri
Ramchandra.
Ramachandra is situated. At Jagannath Puri, Sri Rupa Goswami informed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu of this incident. Vallabha was a great devotee of Sri Ramachandra. Therefore, he could not seriously consider the worship of Radha Govinda according to the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yet he directly accepted Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as an incarnation of the Supreme Person Godhead Ramachandra. In the Bhakti Ratnakar, there is the following statement. Vallabha was given the name Anupam by Sri Gaurasundar, that he was always absorbed in the devotional service of Lord Ramachandra. He didn't know anyone but Sri Ramachandra, but he knew that Chaitanya Goswami was the same Lord Ramachandra. In the Gora Ganodadesh Deepika 180, Sri Rupa Goswami is described to be the gopi named Sri Rupa Manjari. In the Bhakti Ratnakar, there is a list of the books Sri Rupa Goswami compiled. Of all his books, the following 16 are very popular among Vaishnavas. Hamsadut, Udhav Sandesh, Krishna Janma Tithi Vidhi, Radha Krishna Ganodar Desh Deepika, Prihat, and Laghu. Stahamala, Vidagdha Madhava, Lalit Madhava, Dan Keli Kaumudi, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Ujjvala Nilamani, Akhyata Chandrika, Mathura Mahima, Padyavali, Natak Chandrika, and Laghu Bhagavatamrita. Sri Rupa Goswami gave up all family connections, joined the renounced order of life, and divided his money, giving 50% to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, and 25% to his Kutumba, family members, and keeping 25% for personal emergencies. He met Haridas Thakur in Jagannath Puri, where he also met Lord Chaitanya and his other associates. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to praise the handwriting of Rupa Goswami, dividing up his wealth that is well known. Prabhupada in many places speaks about it. God, what is this? What's this? Oh, it's so clever. Sri Sanatan Goswami. Where did we reach? Yeah, so Srila Rupa Goswami could compose verses according to the desires of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And by his direction, he wrote 2 books named Lalita Madhava and Vidagdha Madhava. Lord Chaitanya desired the 2 brothers, Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami, to publish many books in support of the Vaishnava religion. When Sanatan Goswami met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord advised him also to go to Vrindavan. Sri Sanatan Goswami is described in the Gaur Ganodar Desh Deepika. Sri Sanatan Goswami is described in the Gaur Ganodar Desh Deepika. He was formerly known as Rati Manjari or sometimes Lavanga Manjari. In the Bhakti Ratnakar, it is stated that his spiritual master, Vidya Pachaspati, sometimes stayed in the village of Ramakeli, and Sanatan Goswami studied all the Vedic literatures from him. He was so devoted to his spiritual master that this cannot be described. So Sanatan Goswami was known as Rati Manjari or Lavanga Manjari. So it is stated that his spiritual master Vidya Vachaspati sometimes stayed in the village of Ramakeli, and Sanatan Goswami studied all the Vedic literatures from him. So we can know this with the spiritual master of Sanatan Goswami. Now we know who's his spiritual master.
Vidya Vachaspati.
Vidya Vachaspati. So this is Guru of Sanatan Goswami. Well, in the sense of Diksha, Shiksha, you could say, because he's like teaching. He was so devoted to his spiritual master that it cannot be described. According to the Vedic system, if someone sees a Muslim, he must perform rituals to atone for the meeting. Sanatan Goswami always associated with Muslim kings, not giving much attention to the Vedic injunctions. He used to visit the houses of Muslim kings, and thus he considered himself to have been converted into a Muslim. He was therefore always very humble and meek. When Sanatan Goswami presented himself before Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, I'm always in association with lower class people, and my behavior is therefore very abominable. He actually belonged to a respectable Brahmana family, but because he considered his behavior to be abominable, he didn't try to place himself among the Brahmanas, but always remained among people of the lower castes. What is sacrifice? What is sacrifice? He's actually Brahmana, but he said, I have become Muslim. I'm always associating with Muslims. So he said, I'm Muslim. So he never like mixed with the Brahmanas. He remained, see, there's so much honor, so much position that's given to the Brahmanas that he says, I'm fallen. I'm fallen. So he just stayed among the lower castes. Amazing. See, either we do it willingly or we are forced by the laws of nature to do it. He wrote the Hari Bhakti Vilas and Vaishnav Toshani, which is a commentary on the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the year 1476, Shakabdha, AD 1554, he completed the Brihat Vaishnav Toshani commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. In the year 1504, Shakabdha AD 1582, he finished the Laghu Toshani. Anupama Madhi, can you read?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, done with Pranam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught his principles through 4 chief followers. Among them, Ramananda Rai is exceptional, for through him the Lord taught how a devotee can completely vanquish the power of Cupid. By Cupid's power, as soon as one sees a beautiful woman, he is conquered by her beauty. Sri Ramananda Rai, however, vanquished Cupid's pride. Indeed, while rehearsing the Jagannath Vallabha Nataka, he personally directed extremely beautiful young girls in dancing, but he was never affected by their youthful beauty. Sri Ramananda Rai personally bathed these girls, touching them and washing them with his own hands, yet he remained calm and passionless. As a great devotee should, Lord Chaitanya Prabhu certified this was possible only for Ramananda Rai. Similarly, Damodar Pandit was notable for his objectivity as a critic. He did not even spare Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from his criticism. This also cannot be imitated by anyone else. Haridas Thakur is exceptional for his forbearance because although he was beaten with canes in 22 marketplaces, he was nevertheless tolerant. Similarly, Sri Sanatan Goswami, although he belonged to the most respectable Brahmin family, was exceptional for his humility and meekness. In the Madh Lila, chapter 19, the device adopted by Sanatan Goswami to get free government service is described. He served a notice of sickness to the Nawab, the Muslim governor, but actually he was studying Srimad Bhagavatam with Brahmanas at home. The Nawab received information of this through a royal physician and he immediately went to see Sanatan Goswami to discover his intentions. The Nawab requested Sanatan to accompany him on an expedition to Rissa. Sanatan Goswami refused. The Nawab ordered that he be imprisoned. When Rupa Goswami left home, he wrote a note for Sanatan Goswami, informing him of some money that he had entrusted to a local grocer. Sanatan Goswami took advantage of this money to bribe the jailkeeper and get free from detention. Then he left for Benares to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, bringing with him only one servant, whose name was Ishana. On the way, they stopped at the Sarai or hotel, and when the hotel keeper found out that Ishan had some gold coins with him, he planned to kill both Sanatan Goswami and Ishan to take away the coins. Later, Sanatan Goswami saw that although the hotel keeper did not know them, he was being especially attentive to their comfort. Therefore, he concluded that Ishan was secretly carrying some money, and the hotel keeper was aware of this, and therefore planned to kill them for it. Upon being questioned by Sanatan Goswami, Ishan admitted that he indeed had money with him, and immediately Sanatan Goswami took the money and gave it to the hotel keeper, requesting him to help them get through the jungle. Thus, with the help of the hotel keeper, who was also the chief of the thieves of that territory, Sanatan Goswami crossed over the Hazipur mountains, which is presently known as the Hazaribagh. He then met with his brother-in-law, Shrikant, who requested that he stay with him. Sanatan Goswami refused, but before they parted, Shrikant gave him a valuable blanket. Somehow or the other, Sanatan Goswami reached Varanasi and met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at the house of Chandrasekhar. By the order of the Lord, Sanatan Goswami was cleanly shaved and his dress changed to that of a mendicant, or Babaji. He put on old garments of Tapan Mishras and took prasadam at the house of a Maharaj. Then, in discourses with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord himself explained everything about devotional service to Sanatan Goswami. He advised Sanatan Goswami to write books on devotional service, including a book of directions for Vaishnava activities, and to excavate the lost places of pilgrimage in Vrindavan. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him his blessings to do all this work and also explained to Sanatan Goswami the import of the Atmaram verse from 61 different angles. Sanatan Goswami went to Vrindavan by the main road, and when he reached Mathura, he met Subuddhi Rai. Then he returned to Jagannath Puri through Jharkhand, the Madhya Pradesh junction. At Jagannath Puri, he decided to give up his body by falling down beneath the wheel of the Jagannath Rath. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saved him. Then Sanatan Goswami met Haridas Thakur and heard about the disappearance of Anupam. Sanatan Goswami described the glories of Haridas Thakur. Sanatan observed the etiquette of Jagannath's temple by going along the beach to visit Lord Chaitanya, although it was extremely hot due to the sun. He requested Jagannatha Pandit to give him permission to return to Vrindavan. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu praised the character of Sanatan Goswami and he embraced Sanatan, accepting his body as spiritual. Sanatan Goswami was ordered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to live at Jagannath Puri for 1 year. When he returned to Vrindavan after that time, he again met Swami and both brothers remained in Vrindavan to execute the orders of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The place where Sri Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami formerly lived has now become the place of pilgrimage. It is generally known as Gupta Vrindavan or Hidden Vrindavan and is situated about 8 miles south of English Bazaar. There, the following places are still visited. The temple of Devi Kadamba, under which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Sanatan Goswami at night, and 3. Rupa Sagara, a large pond excavated by Sri Rupa Goswami. The society named Heli Samskar Society was established in 24 to repair the temple and renovate the temple. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I'll just read this. See, actually, this is very briefly described. And then Prabhupada has given a summary. But then we elaborated all these incidents. But I'll just read this last paragraph. The place where Sri Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami formerly lived has now become a place of pilgrimage. It is generally known as Gupta Vrindavan or Hidden Vrindavan and is situated about 8 miles south of English Bazaar. What is this English Bazaar? This is Vrindavan, right? There, the following places.
Now, Mataji, this is all about Allahabad where they met.
No, we're speaking of Vrindavan here. I'll read it again. Sanatan Goswami was ordered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to live at Jagannath Puri for 1 year. When he returned to Vrindavan after some time, he again met Rupa Goswami, and both brothers remained in Vrindavan to execute the orders of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All right? Then the place where Sri Rupa Goswami and Sanatana, formerly lived. Okay, where they formerly living, that's Jagannath Puri, right? I'm lost.
Formerly lived earlier.
Mataji, I got that clue because it says the Keli Kadamba tree under which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Sanatan Goswami at night. So he met them at night. That was the first time he met.
No, I'm lost. I'm lost in all this. Where he formerly lived, meaning where's that formerly lived? So the place where Sri Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami formerly lived has now become a place of pilgrimage. Actually, there is so much.
Mataji, Hare Krishna, it says here, Jaipur, the hidden Vrindavan. Could
Where
that
is
be
that Jaipur?
Jaipur? Jaipur, often known as the Pink City, carries another outstanding title within the Vaishnava community, Gupta Vrindavan or Hidden Vrindavan.
You've got
Could
a
it be
different,
Jaipur?
you've got
Eh.
a different version of your book, because Gupta Vrindavan is in Jaipur, but this is not where they lived.
Oh no, I just Googled it.
No, Gupta Vrindavan, that is Jaipur. Don't do this. Huh? This is
Sorry.
Gupta Vrindavan is in Jaipur. There's no mention that they went to Jaipur. That happened only after everything was damaged. But they're the following. So English. So and it's situated about 8 miles south of English Bazaar. There, the following places are still visible. The temple of Shri Madan Mohan deity. So this is, everybody knows where's Madan Mohan, right? Keli Kadamba tree, under which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Sanatan Goswami at night, and Rupa Sagar, a large and pond excavated by Sri Rupa Goswami. Its society named Ram Keli Samskar Samiti was established in 1924 to renovate the temple and renovate the.
This is Ramakeli.
So it should be.
So it's Vrindavan. It's Vrindavan.
Because
But what is this English bazaar?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Probably there was a place there called English bazaar.
Yes, but at least everybody
Which-
knows Sri Madan Mohan.
Yeah. So it's Vrindavan.
Yeah, I guess Srila Prabhupada is just saying the place where they lived.
Yeah, because he knew all the places.
Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, because we know all that area.
Yeah.
We know the whole area there. So this is known as Gup Vrindavan. So it's south of English Bazaar. Anyway, the British took over everything. So their name is also famous, the English Bazaar.
Yeah.
Text 85. Devahiti, you want to read this?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Text 85. তার মধ্যে রূপ সনাতন বড় সখা অনুপম জীব রাজেন্দ্র আদি উপসখা. Translation. Among these branches, Rup Sanatan were principal. Anupam Jeev Goswami and others, headed by Rajendra, were their sub-branches. Shakha, it is Shakha. Purport. In the Gaur Ganodesh Dipika 195, it is said that Srila Jiva Goswami was formerly Vilasa Manjari Gopi. From his very childhood, Jiva Goswami was greatly fond of Srimad Bhagavatam. He later came to Navadvip to study Sanskrit, and following in the footsteps of Sri Nityanand Prabhu, he circumambulated the entire Navadvip Dham. After visiting Navadvip Dham, he went to Banaras to study Sanskrit under Madhusudan Vachaspati And after finishing his studies in Banaras, he went back to Vrindavan and took shelter of his uncles Sri Rup and Sanatan. This is described in the Bhakti Ratnakar. As far as our information goes, Srila Jiva Goswami composed and edited at least 25 books. They are all very much celebrated and they are listed as follows: Hari Nam Amrita Vyakaran, Sutra Mallika, Dhatu Sangraha, Krishna Archa Deepika, Gopala Virudavali, Ras Amrita Shesh, Shri Madhava Mahotsav, Shri Sankalpa Kalpavriksha, Bhavartha Suchaka Champu, Gopal Gopala Tapani Tika, a commentary on Brahma Samhita, a commentary on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, a commentary on Ujjvala Neelamani, a commentary on Yoga Sarastava, a commentary on the Gayatri Mantra as described in the Agni Puran, a description of the Lord's lotus feet derived from the Padma Puran, a description of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, Gopala Champu in two parts, and 19 to 25, seven Sandarbhas, the Karma Tattva, Bhagavad, Paramatma, Krishna, Bhakti, and Preeti Sandarbha. After the disappearance of Sri Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami in Vrindavan, Srila Jiva Goswami became the Acharya of all the Vaishnavas in Bengal, Orissa, and the rest of the world. And it is he who used to guide them in their devotional service. In Vrindavan, he established the Radha Damodar temple, where after retirement we had the opportunity to live from 1962 until 1965. And when we decided to come to the United States of America, when Jiva Goswami was still present, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami compiled his famous Chaitanya Charitamrita. Later, Srila Jiva Goswami inspired Srinivas Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur, and Dukhi Krishnadas to preach Krishna consciousness in Bengal. Jiva Goswami was informed that all the manuscripts that had been collected from Vrindavan and sent to Bengal for preaching purposes were plundered near Vishnupur in Bengal. But later he received the information that the books had been recovered. Srila Jiva Goswami awarded the designation Kaviraj to Ramachandra Sen, a disciple of Srinivas Acharya, and to Ramachandra's younger brother Govind. When Jiva Goswami was alive, Srimati Janva Devi, the pleasure potency of Sri Nityanand Prabhu, went to Vrindavan with a few devotees. Jiva Goswami was very kind to the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the Vaishnavas from Bengal. Whoever went to Vrindavan, he provided with a residence and prasadam. His disciple, Krishnadas Adhikari, listed all the books of the Goswamis in his diary. The Sahajiyas level 3 accusation against Sri Jiva Goswami. This is certainly not congenial for the execution of devotional service. The first accusation concerns a materialist who was very proud of his reputation as a great Sanskrit scholar and approached Sri Rupa and Sanatan to argue with them about the revealed scriptures. Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, not wanting to waste their time, gave him a written statement that he had defeated them in a debate on the revealed scriptures. Taking this paper, the scholar approached Jiva Goswami for a similar certificate of defeat. But Jiva Goswami did not agree to give him one. On the contrary, he argued with him regarding the scriptures and defeated him. Certainly, it was right for Jiva Goswami to stop such a dishonest scholar from advertising that he had defeated Sri Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. But due to their illiteracy, the Sahajiya class referred to this incident to accuse Srila Jiva Goswami of deviating from the principle of humility. They do not know, however, that humility and meekness are appropriate when one's own honor is insulted, but not when Lord Vishnu or the Acharyas are blasphemed. In such cases, one should not be humble and meek, but must act. One should follow the example given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya says in his Shistaka 3, Trinadepi Sunichena Taroravi Shahasnuna Amani Manadeda Kirtanya Sadahari. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking himself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Nevertheless, when the Lord was informed that Nityanand Prabhu was injured by Jagai and Madhai, he immediately went to the spot, angry like fire, wanting to kill them. Thus, Lord Chaitanya has explained his verse by the example of his own behavior. One should tolerate insults against oneself. But when there is a blasphemy committed against superiors, such as other Vaishnavas, one should be neither humble nor meek. One must take proper steps to counteract such blasphemy. This is the duty of a servant of a Guru and Vaishnavas. Anyone who understands the principle of eternal servitude to the Guru and Vaishnavas will appreciate the action of Srila Jiva Goswami in connection with the so-called scholar's victory over his gurus, Srila Rup and Sri Sanatan Goswami. Another story fabricated to defend Srila Jiva Goswami states that when Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami showed him the newly completed manuscript of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jiva Goswami thought it would hamper his reputation as a big scholar and therefore threw it into a well. Srila Krishnadas Goswami was greatly shocked according to this story and he died immediately. Fortunately, a copy of the manuscript of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita had been kept by a person named Mukunda, and therefore later it was possible to publish the book. This story is another ignominious example of blasphemy against a Guru and Vaishnava. Such a story should never be accepted as authoritative. According to another accusation, Srila Jiva Goswami did not approve of the principles of Parakya Rasa of Rajadham and therefore supported Swakya Rasa, showing that Radha and Krishna are eternally married. Actually, when Jiva Goswami was alive, some of his followers disliked the Parakya Rasa of the gopis. Therefore, Srila Jiva Goswami, for their spiritual benefit, supported Swakya Rasa, for he could understand the Sahajiyas would otherwise exploit the Parakya Rasa as they are actually doing at the present time. Unfortunately, in Vrindavan and Navadvip, it has become fashionable among Sahajiyas in their debauchery to find an unmarried sexual partner to live with to execute so-called devotional service in Parakya Ras. Foreseeing this, Srila Jiva Goswami supported Swakya Ras and later all the Vaishnav Acharyas also approved of it. Srila Jiva Goswami was never opposed to the transcendental Parakyaras, nor has any other Vaishnava disapproved of it. Srila Jiva Goswami strictly followed his predecessors, gurus, and Vaishnavas. Srila Jiva Goswami and Sanatan Goswami and Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami accepted him as one of his instructor gurus.
Yes, that's a lot. So much information. So much. You can dark here. So this is very important about Srila Jiva Goswami. See, we have to reread with pen and paper and make our own notes. There's so much information within there. Text 86. Malirai chaya shakar bahutat bari
Badila.
Badiya paschima desha sabha achadila. By the will of the Supreme Gardener, the branches of Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami grew many times over, expanding throughout the Western countries and covering the entire region. Expanding throughout the Western countries. So what is this Western countries?
Paschima.
America,
Bombay?
Gujarat,
Bombay? But the will of the Supreme Gardener, the branches of Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami grew many times over, expanding throughout the Western countries and covering the entire region. Sindhu Nadi Tira Ara Himalaya. Extending the borders of the river Sindhu and the Himalayan mountain valleys. Okay, so these two branches expanded throughout India, including all the places of pilgrimage such as Vrindavan, Mathura, and Haridwar. So river Sindhu is on the western side, right? Like where Pakistan is, Punjab, Haryana. This is western, is it?
No, north.
Correct, Mataji. Pakistan is towards the west, and Sindhu Nadi is there. And in Punjab.
Punjab is in the north.
And where's Haridwar?
Haridwar is also in the north.
Pradesh, Mataji.
If you compare it from West Bengal.
It's near Vish.
Okay, just one person tell me where's Haridwar.
Mataji, if we are standing in Odisha, then all these areas, Punjab, Pakistan, are towards the west. Even Haridwar is also towards the west. But if you see it within India right now, Haridwar is considered to be in north.
All these are in north.
All right, because the British, they changed the geography, right? And they divided the state differently, the provinces different. So here, this is Krishnadas Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who wrote this. This is the western side, in the western countries. So it's Sindhu, etc. Dui Shakara Prema Phale Sakala Bhashina Prema Phala Swade Loka Unmata Haina. The fruits of love of Godhead, which fructified on these two branches, were distributed in abundance. Tasting these fruits, everyone became mad of them. Paschimera Loka Sava Mudha Anachar Tahan Pracharila Donhe Bhakti Sadachar. The people in general on the western side of India were neither intelligent nor well behaved. But by the influence of Sri Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, they were trained in devotional service and good behavior. All right, Indira Radha, you can read this.
Hare Krishna. Suppose, although it is not only in Western India that people were contaminated by association with Muslims, it is a fact that the farther west one goes in India, the more he will find the people to be fallen from the Vedic culture. Until 5,000 years ago, when the entire planet was under the control of Maharaj Parikshit, the Vedic culture was current everywhere. Gradually, however, people were influenced by non-Vedic culture, and they lost sight of how to behave in connection with devotional service. Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami very kindly preached the bhakti cult in Western India, and following in their footsteps, the propagators of the Chaitanya cult in the Western countries are spreading the Sankirtan movement and inculcating the principles of Vaishnava behavior, thus purifying and reforming many persons who were previously accustomed to the culture of Malach and Yavanas. All of our devotees in the Western countries give up their old habits of illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling. Of course, 500 years ago, these practices were unknown in India, at least in Eastern India. But unfortunately, at present, all of India has been victimized by these non-Vedic principles, which are sometimes even supported by the government. Hari Bol.
So here's some information about what is this West. And we can see it in Bombay, right? This is West. So it's like all this contamination were there. So we stop here. Another section will start. Oh, let's read this last one. Shastra Drishche Kaile Lukta Tirthera Udhar Shrimurti Sevara Prachar. In accordance with the directions of the revealed scriptures, both Goswamis excavated the lost places of pilgrimage and inaugurated the worship of deities in Vrindavan. Ksenia, you want to read this purport?
Hare Krishna. The spot where we now find Sri Radha Kund was an agricultural field during the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. A small reservoir of water was there, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bathed in that water and pointed out that originally Radha Kund existed in that location. Following his directions, Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami renovated Radha Kund. This is one of the brilliant examples of how the Goswamis excavated lost places of pilgrimage. Similarly, it is through the endeavor of the Goswamis that all the important temples in Vrindavan were established. Originally, there were 7 important Gaudiya Vaishnava temples established in Vrindavan, namely the Madan Mohan Temple, Govinda Temple, Gopinath Temple, Sri Radhaman Temple, Radharaman Temple, Radha Shyamasundara Temple, Radha Damodar Temple, and Gokulananda Temple.
So, see, all these temples were established by the Goswamis, but then, as we know, they had to, because of the Mughal attack, so they had to move the deities. So this is good information, good history. So this is history. This is history of 500 years ago. More than 500 now. And what was going on? Almost, so Prabhupada saying 500 years ago, these practices were unknown in India. At least in Eastern India, Prabhupada was saying Eastern India, nobody was doing intoxication, gambling, and illicit sex. But in the West, people were doing all this. But now it's spread everywhere. So Prabhupada witnessed that during his lifetime. That's why he's speaking about it. All right, so thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Chakalpate
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Thank
So
you.
as we keep saying